Okie dokie. I think I keep forgetting to do is to put the phone onto flight mode, and it seems that when you get a call coming in, it just interrupts the whole live, and it's just a mess. It's possible that it would come back eventually. You've got an echo. That's not good. I'm using this new headset, which should really be. Oh, you're hearing my other thing. Hang on. All right, is that better now? Is that clearer? Hey, Josh. The sound should be okay. Should be absolutely fine now using this headset. If it's no good, I'll just turn it off. Mike, is it okay? Are you still getting an echo? Okay, no, good. Yeah, I've got both screens on, that's why, and it was just coming through from my other headphones, which were lying on the desk. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just see if we can get it on there. Good. Okay, yeah, so I was just saying, I just invested in these headsets, relatively cheap, professional monaural. They're not stereo, but there's obviously two earpieces, but it's not stereo sound, it's mono sound through both earpieces. And it's meant for telephonists. But I figured that it would be good for this kind of thing. It's designed to work with mobile phones, except I realized when I got it that it's a 3.5mm, so I've had to use an adapter to work with a lightning socket. So there we go. So the microphone is right in front of my mouth. It's got one of these things which go right in front of your mouth, so it should be really clear. Yeah, Daniel, you were saying about your postal service. Yeah, so I mean, I've had the same problem. I've got a half a dozen pipes which are in the US at the moment, doing the rounds between one postal station and another, but they're not arriving at their destination for some reason. I know Mel is waiting for one. I've got my number 200 pipe, and we're now up to 240 something. I'll show you the one I'm in the middle of at the moment. Hey, Don. Briar Blade, haven't seen you in a yonk. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. I hope you are well, and I hope you're enjoying my pipe. I hope you're smoking it. Haven't seen videos for a while from you. Parcels to go. I'll make a note of that. I always use Royal Mail tracking, so it kind of sorts itself out eventually, but at the moment, also you're relying very much on, when it goes to the States, you're relying on the connection between Royal Mail and USPS working as well. So when you get the update, sometimes it just says, we've handed it over to the other mail service and we'll wait until we get further information. Parcels to go. And these parcels to go work well in over other countries as well. The tracking is good. DB, the sciatica is better than it was. It's still there. My leg is still numb. And it's like a very weird sensation when you're walking. It's like walking on a spongy sensation. And it's uncomfortable, but it's not as painful as it was. It doesn't ache, but it's nothing like it was, thankfully. And I'm actually doing some outdoor pictures tomorrow. Small job, but small start, eh? It's good to be restarting. And we're going out of lockdown this coming week. I'm glad to hear that, Ladon. That's the most important thing, isn't it? It's got to smoke well. It's all well and good, the pipes being pretty, but they've got to smoke well. I don't know if it's customs or what. I don't know what it is, but it's very frustrating is all I can say. A customer's waiting for their pipe. It's out there, and it's just frustrating all round, really. Parcels to go. Well, I'll look into that. Alright, so we've got the Briar Blues pipe, which will open soon. I've already opened it, but I'll show you the pipe. I was actually looking through some of my older pipes that I'd made but hadn't sold or smoked, and this one popped out of the drawer. Do you guys remember this one? The quirky little customer. I fine-tuned it, I don't remember how long ago. I rounded off the top here and sanded this more and actually got rid of a sandpit. I was obviously nervous originally to sand more and more, but I took it a little bit further and got rid of a sandpit, so it's actually a clean piece of briar. And this is a reverse plateau, a really nice plateau. Thank you, Jack. And it's just a quirky shape, and that's why I went for this blue stem as well. It's just almost like a claw, like a nail claw sticking out of a foot there. And it's the amount of times I've gotten close to smoking it, but look at that. I didn't even realise. Wow, it's pipe 56. That's almost 200 pipes ago. Wow. Pipe making is not my job, although it has been for the last 6 months or so, almost. But it's kind of a hobby come cottage industry, I suppose you could call it. It's got some nice grain. If I could hold on to the thing. So let me ask your advice. Actually, this pipe here, I made this one. This is 228. So that's about 20 pipes ago. Really nice pipe. I made this to be like a sack pipe. I've seen these shapes before where it's kind of looks like it's a sack with something in it pushing it over to one side. But parcels to go. Okay, I will look at that. But I was just wondering if it's a little bit too quirky, and maybe I should just make it equal at the bottom, just round it off. What do you think? I'd be interested in your comments. Mike, if you're still here, let me know your thoughts. So you can see it slopes out that way, but it's got really beautiful grain. Really like the stem on it as well. It's very unique. Very unique. And I was just thinking maybe to do that, but I can see a couple of you people are saying I should leave it. Hey Juicy, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. Alright, so I'm happy with it because that's why how I originally designed it. It wasn't. This is not a misshaped pipe. It's intended. You can see that over here. That it's intended. But yeah, it is intended without a doubt. That's true. IK, I have seen that many times with pipes which have sat and not sold. I mean, I'm not very good at my marketing. That is true. Not having the website up and all that kind of thing. But I have found that you're right. The pipe finds its rightful owner. You do see some pipes which I make, which I think, nobody's going to be interested in this, and it'll sell really quickly. Sometimes I'll make a cracker of a pipe, or at least what I think is a cracker of a pipe, and it'll take forever. Oh, thank you, Juicy. That's good to hear. Desperate Dan, the chin. Yeah, I get you. Nice one, Jeff. As long as it sits up correctly. It's not a sitter, so it won't sit, I don't think. It's not intended to sit. But it does, actually. There you go. Bit wobbly, but it does sit. It's got that. The chin area is flattened. So it does sit fairly well, but not a solid sitter. Okay, so the pipe I started today is another variation on these sort of Danish style apples. I made a few of. So that's my one, and somebody else commissioned another one. And this one it's in the middle, obviously it's rough shaping. Another plateau version. Good evening, Joe. The pipes, when they're made, they're really generally put up on here on YouTube. and on Instagram and Facebook. My website is not up and running at the moment. And this one's got a bit of a triangular profile on the end there, which I'm still working on, which is actually looking pretty good, pretty equal. Not 100% yet, but you can see that we've got a countersink on the mortise. And the shaping is coming on. It'll be a nice lightweight pipe. I think this will be around the 40 gram mark by the time it's finished. Let's have a look where it's up to. It's 45 at the moment, but there's still some filing to go. We'll see. I was sort of considering taking off the plateau on this one and just making a flat top. But it's actually quite a nice plateau. Not all plateaus are nice. They're not. Sometimes you have a pipe which is so wildly sort of misshaped at the top, and it just warrants. I've made acorn style pipes in the past. I have Jeff. Oops, sorry. Where do you get the ideas? I mean, this one is for me, and I don't want to sound. Well, I suppose many people are inspired by the same things, but inspiration for these comes from Lars Iversen pipes. I always feel bad saying that, as if to say, like, who am I to be imitating Lars Iversen? But that is the inspiration for this pipe, without a doubt. I once tried making one of those acorn type pipes that he makes, where it's got the line here and you see the bowl sort of emerging from that sort of cup. I made an absolute balls up of it. It was a long time ago. It's still in my drawer in the garage. But yeah, I saw your question, Daniel. I saw your question. Just give me a second to finish the point I'm making. So I've lost my train of thought now. The reason why you countersink the mortise is so that there's two reasons. Depends on the tenon, number one, because oftentimes the tenon will have a little, in the old Dunhills and things like that, and many pipes, especially 9mm, there'll be a little flange over here, a little area which is wider than the rest of the tenon, and that needs to sit somewhere. So that sits. I kind of overcome that. When I drill my tenons, I actually drill them, and this one actually does have a little bit sticking out, but I countersink the stem hole so that this wider bit at the bottom of it, I don't know if I've got a spare tenon lying around here. It would be much easier to show it on one of those. Let me see this one. You can see this very small little skirt running around the base of the tenon. So that's very slightly wider. Cheers, Ledon. Very slightly wider than the rest of the tenon. So if you have this flush and this flush, then that's going to push out and make a slight gap. So you make a countersink there, so that accommodates that little extra bit of width around the base of the tenon. And I still do it even when I don't have that. So sometimes I'll drill this deep enough and I'll countersink this so that little flange is sunk beneath the top of the stem, the face of the stem. But I'll still do it because it just makes it easier for locating the hole and putting your stem in. It goes in smoother. It stops you bashing the edge of the face every time. So you just go and it just helps you locate the hole and just makes everything go smoother. Hey Tim. Hey Mr. Ximba. There you go, Josh, same point. Well done. My Instagram, Joe, is Smoky Sim, which is written like this. Oh, don't tell me I've done something again. Oh no, I just pressed pause on my own screen. It's Smoky_sim, like that. What on earth? Who typed that? Anyway, it's Smoky_sim, Smoky_sim. Your 7 is countersunk also. Well, it would be if it has that same thing on the tenon. Where is my other? So you could do Smoky_sim, or you could look on Facebook under Simon Bosco. That's very nice of you to say, DB. Appreciate that. Have I missed any other questions? Yes. Anyway, so this one, as I say, is definitely this shape generally. It's definitely inspired by the Lars Iversen pipes, and to some extent, Nanna Iversen. But they kind of, although she would claim to have her own style, I find them to be quite similar. I kind of missed the boat with Sixten Iversen. I haven't seen that many of his pipes, so I'm not really sure what his style was, other than that he invented most of them, of the freehand shapes that you see commonly today. So yeah, I'm hoping that this triangular shape will work out well. I was considering sort of rounding that off as well, but I've decided not to do too many steps in one go and ruin the pipe, so that's going to stay flat. Yeah, there's definitely a Danish influence in my pipes, without a doubt. I mean, you look at all of the egg shapes that I do, egg shapes are definitely Sixten Iversen, even though I don't know much about his pipes, but the egg shape is definitely Sixten Iversen. This one, again, same kind of thing in egg shape. This bit here was just, I think I did that on the spur of the moment while I was shaping it. And I think Mike it was that told me that this had a bit of a Castello look to it, but I don't think it's what caused it at the time. I think it was just what happened at the time. Well, if you're in the UK, DB, you could certainly get some of the twists and the ropes from Samuel Gowth or Gowth Hogarth. Those are really strong. If you like Latakia's Brown Boogie, there you go. Hey, pictures and more. Thank you, Mystic Simba. Actually, Tim might be able to help you more on these stronger ones. I don't smoke the ropes and the curlies and all of those, the bogies. Not for me. And I'm just realising that I haven't actually got a Piper light at the moment. Shock horror. I had a wonderful bowl of Orlick Golden Slice before. I think I'm going to have another. And then I will show you the Briar Blues pipe. Haunted Bookshop, absolutely. tell you what, this is wonderful stuff. It's a simple flake, but it's just got so much flavour. And it's really nice to smell just in the jar as well. It's fruity, it's lemony, grassy. Also depends if you want a Latakia based blend or not. So you can get Burley's, you can get Old Joe Cran's Haunted Bookshop, these kind of things if you want strength. Who cares about what pictures and more? Ken Pole, how you doing? Haven't seen you before. I think I've seen you a long time ago, actually. I do recognise the name. On a military mount, would you countersink? Not quite the same thing. A military mount is, I suppose, one big countersink because it's usually tapered. So when you're putting the end of the stem, if there's your hole, so it's tapered, so it's like that shape, okay, and then you've got your thing going in, so it's already countersunk there because your stem is quite a bit narrower at the beginning because it fits in the narrower part of the mortise. So there's no need for an additional countersink as such. Right, let's choose a pipe. What's everybody smoking tonight? I think I shall smoke one of my new pipes. This is one I made not too long ago. I even gave myself 2 stars. Squadron leader for pictures. Cajun cake. Vanilla cream with full Virginia flake. Oh wow, nice. I like the sound of that. I've been mixing vanilla cream with all it golden sliced quite a bit. My pouch that I take with me when I go out, that's what's in there. Luxury twist flake, nice. I never really got into the Peter Stockaby, the luxury twist flake. I don't know, I always found it burned hot and didn't have a huge amount of flavour, but that maybe was just me. Maybe I smoked it wrong. LCS Dublin, cool. I hope it's treating you well, Jack. Yep, I would agree with you on that one, Andrew. Hi, Andrew. They do smell really good, I grant you that, but for me, they're very, very linear and very thin flavour, and as I say, they burn hot. I find that anyway. Samuel Gareth Perfection. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I recollect well, that's one of the collaborations with the Danish pipe shop. Is that a light English or a light aromatic? I forget. This pipe here was inspired by this pipe here. This is a pipe that Jeff Graysock made, J. Allen Pipes, which he made as a tribute to a Yes Konowitz pipe. And that was my version of it, obviously not sandblasted. And I was very happy with it. Hey, John. Right, light English with vanilla. And I actually got a nice compliment from Jeff Graysock. He said it was nice, he was happy with it, so to speak. And Shane Island also complimented me on it, so I was very happy about that. I must say that it's just really nice to get compliments from people of that caliber. It's very rewarding, and it's nice that they take the time. I think that's really generous. Owenmore Flake. I can't argue with that. That's a great tobacco. Evening, JB. I saw you on there, Andrew. I didn't stay throughout. I had to go and join the family, and didn't really have anything to contribute. Cobs is not my thing. What a difference. I smoked the Orly Golden Sliced earlier on in one of my Northern Briars pipes, and this one is brand new. I've smoked it maybe twice, and there's such a difference between the two. This is just the tobacco in this one is much blander, a little bit rougher, not so much flavour coming through. It just shows you the difference between a broken in pipe and a not broken in pipe. Yeah, Boris, I really do appreciate that. They took the time even to respond, you know. They're mere human beings, mere mortals like you and I, but still. I've not smoked a mellow mixture. Daniel, I don't know. I think I should have left this to dry a bit longer. Keeps going out. The FDA, they wanted to, as far as I know, they wanted to include pipes themselves and have them under those regulations. I think they've pulled back from that. I'm not entirely sure. But I wouldn't have a direct connection with that because the FDA doesn't, as of yet, as far as I know, their arm doesn't reach as far across the pond to the UK. Not yet, anyway. Okie dokie, so you want to see that pipe from Briar Blues, no doubt. Yeah, midnight. Although I think recently, in the past few months, they've pulled back on their position a little bit. And I think there's been some success, some minor victory, at least temporarily. That, for instance, I think that cigars, I think hand-rolled cigars are being excluded now from... Hey, Steph. I think the hand-rolled cigars are being excluded from their from these new deeming regulations or whatever it is. Alright, so as you all know, the only thing with this microphone being right under my nose is that you're hearing all the little noises that I make, so I apologise for that. But I'm just drinking some coffee. It's not that big. There's the pipe, there's the box. Yes, there was £5 of flipping peanuts, Mike. I threw those out earlier, so I don't put you all through that torture. Hey, Anthony. Thanks for your purchase. This pipe you're talking about, Juicy? I don't know what shape you'd call it. I guess you'd call it a stubby apple, maybe? You know, Steph, a lot of people are saying that this year. I've said it many times on my videos. We are so lucky in the YTPC, we don't realise it. We're all very fortunate. I could try making another one, Juicy. I kind of did this one on a whim, just to see if I could do it, but this one I have to actually countersink it a little bit more. I can see there's a little bit of a gap there, because I didn't test it with a filter while I was making it, which I should have done. So the filter, because I've made the stem, the body of the stem a lot shorter, and when you make that shorter, it means that the filter has to go more into the mortise than into the stem, so you just have to allow for that, and I didn't. It's you know, we say this all the time, that you know, for a lot of people, especially people who are on their own, maybe they're not in a family situation, people who can't go out to pipe meetups, which means all of us at the moment, you can almost any day of the week get onto a live and chat with people. And you know, some people who are, you know, perhaps feeling a bit down or feeling a bit lonely or whatever it might be, they can distract themselves by just getting in touch, getting onto a live, getting into a Zoom, even just messaging people, you know, leaving messages on people's videos and people respond back, on Facebook, Instagram, all the pipe people. It doesn't matter which community it is, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just you're meeting like-minded people. That's the key. When you look at other forums on the internet for different things, maybe other types of hobbies, I don't see, maybe there is, but I haven't seen the same kind of camaraderie that you see on the pipe communities. It's just something special. It's a world away from the world. I see that as a separate entity to the rest of the world, really. I really do. It's a microcosm of what an ideal world would be in terms of the way people behave towards each other. And it would be great if, as I've said this before, if a member of the YTPC could be presidents and prime ministers. Hey Kempo, I'm dragging it out. Do you mind? It is a nose warmer, Vangelis. Oh, hi. There's another pipe on its way to you, isn't there? She wants a house with a bowling alley. Bright Blues matches. Alright, Ken, I'm revealing. Chillax, man. Chillax. Oh, look. We've got a sticker, Ken. Briar Blues. Oh, look. We've got a magnet, Ken. That's pretty cool. Mike, your merch is on another level. And we have a button. Or a badge, as we'd call it here in the UK. I'm going to start putting all these things on my Pipe Club of London cap. And start badging it up. Uh-oh. I think we have some badge envy. I think Oleg nowadays is made by STG, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's two here. I thought it was one. We've even got some glass mats. How about that? Congratulations, Mike. Come on. Check out all that merch. Swag. Coasters. Thank you, Pictures and More. The actual correct word for a change. Right, Kenny's going to have a fit if I don't get on with this. Right, let me just put the stem on. Okay. Drum roll, please. Actually, before I do that, sorry, Ken. What I thought was really cool is that Radice must give a lot of trust to Mike. Look at that. You got a Radice stamp on his wax there. How cool is that? And here's a drum roll. Thank you, Tim. Okay, here we go. Just look at the grain in there. Purple colour. I was looking at this pipe. I couldn't for the life of me understand why. Look at that cross grain. Bird's eye on both sides. And I couldn't understand why this was stained so darkly. Radice, Briar Blues 2020. And I can see that it was because of this spot here. One single spot. I wouldn't have stained this so darkly, but it is a very, very beautiful colour. Nice smooth top. And when Mike said that actually that they're quite light, I wasn't sure I believed him, but it is very, very light. They look so big in the pictures, and I would guess it's around somewhere between 50 and 55 grams. I would say 50 is my usual. 50 and below is my usual comfort zone. We shall see. $56, there you go. So about right. So it's still, because it's bent, it makes it perfectly clenchable. Actually, the biting zone here is very comfortable, I must say. The shaping of the raised part of the bit is very good. Not that I'm expert to criticize or give critique on a company like Radice, but very nice. Well, Daniel, I had a limited selection. There was only 3 9mm pipes, and the main reason why in the end I went for this is because last year's one that I got was similar colouring, so I just went to match. A bit dusty there. This is the shape 55 that I got for last year's Briar Blues 2019, Briar Blues 2020. And I hope, all being well, that I'll be able to continue getting them, as long as Mike makes them, and I will be encouraging him to do so. I hope you've sold them all out by now, Mike. The Rind, that's the rusticated one, right? Which is what this one is, I think. Am I right? The Silk Cut is the sandblasted one, I believe, and I think this is the Rind. Am I right? I think so. Which one did you order, Andrew? Which type? Which finish? Hey, Rockin' Steady. It is almost 1 AM, Steph. Yeah, Rind rusticated. You went for the natural. Did you go for the 9mm version or a regular one? 23 or 23 sold. I'm really pleased. Briar Blues, Mike. So did you get 24, or you actually sold your one as well? Or you sold it to yourself? Do you call that sold? Regular, okay. It's good for you because I've noticed that you buy both, and I think that's a really nice position to be in, to be able to buy regular ones and 9mm ones. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. What I'm actually thinking of doing. Oh, you held one back for giveaway. That's very nice of you, Mike. Very generous indeed. What was I about to say? I can't remember what I was about to say. Work and lurk, lurk and work. Oh yeah, so in terms of the filters, I was actually thinking, I've been doing a lot of reading recently, as I always do. And I've been rereading Rick Newcomb's book, In Search of Pipe Dreams, and he goes on ad nauseum about opening up the drill of his pipes, the draft of his pipes. And I was actually thinking of making a pipe for myself, ensuring that as much as possible that the draw is wide open from tip to toe, and see if that makes any difference. In fact, one of the pipes that I made recently, I made it like that. And I'm going to see if I can try it without a filter and see what happens. I have tried it in the past more than once, and I kind of say to myself, why bother? If you're happy with 9mm, just stick with it. Why not? I haven't got a new list of available pipes, and I keep saying to myself that I've got to be more organised with. And I'm definitely going to do the Instagram page. I'm going to set up a new Instagram page called LCS Bras, and I'm going to have all available pipes on that page. And as soon as they sell, I'm going to remove it from the page, so you can see at the blink of an eye everything that's available. So it'll only have available pipes. I will put the prices on them, so it'll be very simple to just go in, like something, send me a message. I'll have this, please. Pay for it, and you're done. I want to do something along those lines. I think that for now, I'm not going to worry too much about the website. I just want to get this, get it out there exactly what's available and whatnot. That seems to be the quickest way of doing it, I think. Steph, whenever you're ready. I saw your comment earlier on. Whenever you're ready. Canada Post and storage. You mean Canada Post equals storage? But at the moment, it seems worldwide post is storage. Everybody's having the same problem. I've got people waiting 2-3 weeks already for pipes over in the States. Usually my pipes take around, I would say, 7 to 10 days, and they're taking a lot longer at the moment. Are you guys experiencing that as well? Oh, I can fold the microphone out of the way so you don't hear me slurping. The only thing I can think of why that would be why they would travel around the various different states is perhaps if some of the offices are overwhelmed and they have to redirect them. But other than that, I can't understand it. 3 weeks to clear a package, wow. I have to be honest, Mike's one didn't take too long. This, the Briar Blues pipe didn't take that long. Yeah, Mike, that's true. If they lose it, they pay. But the problem with that is that at the end of the day, they don't get the person wanted a pipe and don't get the pipe. The money's kind of a really very bad second position to be in. Yeah, that does sound crazy, Mike. It just seems ridiculous that to send it to Daniel in your same country, that it should. Did they say it's just taking longer, or that it's gotten mislaid? Because mislaid could happen anywhere. I guess it's a combination of Christmas and COVID. CC. You got a decent market out in China these days? I heard that the Chinese market was reducing somewhat, the pipe market. There was a time when the Japanese and Chinese markets, they're the ones that forced up all of the high-end pipes, the Danish high-end pipe prices. It's dried up for you, oh dear. That is very fast, Jack. Very fast. When I've ordered from Greece in the past, it's taken a long time. Yeah, from Germany I get stuff really quickly usually. Oh really, they can't view tobacco content? They're so heavily supervised there, wow. And with the VPN they can? Or you mean... Well, they're not allowed to buy tobacco there? Night, Steph. Yeah, I understand that it's government controlled, but do they control it? The VPN hides the IP so they can circumvent the rules. So I assume that means all internet there is filtered. They control only what they look at. I guess there's no such thing as getting a what's his name, mobile phone. What do they call them? The ones that you throw away, like you see in the films. A burner, yeah, 9mm computers. Good one, Josh. Got to decide what I'm going to use this for. I assume these are sterling, Mike. They're not stamped in any way. You're all very funny. Hilarious. Really nice grain on this one. I'm almost tempted to sand it and give it a lighter stain. Would that be sacrilegious, Mike, for me to do that? I know what you're going to answer me. Your pipe, you do as you want. That's good testament indeed. This one smoked fantastic from the off. Only had good smokes out of this one, and I would say it's not even fully broken in. But I've struggled with the sandblasted one, I have to be honest. You know that, I've told you that already. Why would I return for a refund? Batteries not included, eh? Oh, really? I enjoy reading some of the stories that Pipe Stud puts out in the collector magazine, the Pipe Collector magazine. Incidentally, I haven't seen that magazine for a while now. It must be overdue. I hope the editors are okay. Oh, this pipe's smoking like a champ now. Flavour's not quite there, but at least it's smoking well. So, Mike, have you had thoughts about a shape for next year? Or maybe you even want to think about, not this year, but maybe a Christmas pipe as well, if they go that well. Keep it limited. I reckon you could go for a middle of the year and end of the year. If you keep it limited to about 20, 25 pipes, I think you'll sell them no problem. You have got a shape for next year? I suppose you don't want to share it here. Too early. Your own shape, nice. And then it will be a truly Briar Blues pipe of the year. How I use honey to coat the bowl. If you're broken the pipe using aromatic, would you still need to use the honey sugar to do the sugar or the aromatic? Well, I'll do this one in a minute, if you like, because I will be smoking this. I'll show you how I do it. But the honey is just a catalyst. It's just something which helps the cake start off. An author with an oval shank. Bit similar to this year's though, Mike, no? Well, it's got to be something that you like. Ultimately, it's your decision, obviously, but I like the idea of perhaps a Lovat, maybe, or a Canadian, from a Canadian, no less. A bit more challenging to make 9mm though, Canadians. Yeah, so the honey essentially it just creates a layer, a sugary layer, which carbonizes, which it caramelizes, I should say, and it just helps to build up the cake. That turns into carbon, the honey, and it just gives you an immediate layer of cake. It's a very thin layer, but it's a start, and it just helps things. It helps the cake to start off. It speeds it up. Anyway, that's why I do it, and I also do it to create a layer between that and the briar. So it's just another sort of layer to stop it burning. And I also don't like the flavour of fresh briar. Even though I prefer a naked bowl as opposed to a coated bowl, I like to break it in myself, but I prefer to do it with honey rather than have a coating on it. And the honey just, I don't like that fresh briar. When you're burning briar for the first time, I don't like that taste. Some people love it, I don't. So the honey just negates that a little bit. The sugary taste doesn't come through because it burns pretty much immediately. It burns the carbon. But even if it would, I would be fine with that. And what's wrong with having a sweet taste? Yeah, bulldog is nice too. That's a complete something different. Bulldog is a really nice shape. This one, lovely pipe. I don't mind bigging it up. This was made by Jordan, the prairie pipe smoker. Sandblasted, chunky little thing. Beautiful stem, amazing stem. Very sort of yeah, pipe mud would be exactly the same as a lot of the in essence, very similar to what people use as a bowl coating. What I do is, in the first few smokes of a pipe, when I've smoked it down, you see this white ash. Before you tip it out, you put your hand over the top of it, give it a shake, and you see that thin ash coating all around. Just leave that, don't clean that out, and just when you fill it up again, and that will help your build-up of cake as well. Yeah, those GQ tobaccos, I've got one myself. I bought one a while back, I haven't smoked it yet. But they're fantastic value, unbelievable value. The GQ pipes. And the Prince is also quite a challenging shape to make. So it could be as well why a lot of people don't. Maybe they're just not made that much. But I suppose nowadays factories wouldn't have an issue with it. They just use a template and a phrasing machine. One of the downsides of me not having an up-to-date way of showing you the pipes that I've got available is that there are some corking pipes just sitting here. I've got a 3-star pipe. This one here, unbelievable grain. And it's just sitting here, doing nothing. And that's a travesty. Somebody should be smoking this. Well, I was saying before about pipes that some pipes you sort of think that, wow, this is going to sell immediately, and some don't. When I made this pipe, I thought it would sell straight away. This is also a Danish-inspired billiard. I think it's Danish-inspired anyway. And spent a lot of time shaping this stem, giving it that rounded feel. Gave it a faded stain so it almost looks seamless. You see there, you could hardly see the line. And it's just sitting here. And it's my own fault. I've ordered a new stamp, actually. I've ordered a new star stamp. This current star stamp is the Star of David. I had a company make it up. The same company that made my original LCS Briar stamps. And I'm just not happy with it. So I've got the company that made my current LCS stamp, which is Buckeye Engraving. That's this one here. I've asked them to make another one, another Star of David for me. I revisited this one. You guys would have seen this one. I reshaped the stem on this. The stem was quite chunky, so I revisited that, and that's another. You can see, to me, it's another Danish-inspired pipe. Beautiful plateau, beautiful grain. That's another one that's just sitting around. What else? And this one too. I do heat the end of the stamp, yes, Daniel. This one's still available. It's a nice freehand Dublin style. Free form, I should say. It's not freehand because it's drilled on the lathe, so strictly speaking you might not call it a freehand, but it's really nice pipe. And here's another one which I just can't believe that people haven't seen it the way I see it. I just see this as a gorgeous pipe. This is more a little bit Castello inspired, with this flared junction here. I don't know, maybe it's because the bowl is not that much higher than that. Maybe it looks awkward, but to me, I don't know, the lines on this one, to me, it just works. It's a beautiful craggy sandblast. You can see the straight grain and the ring grain, but it's had no takers. The bowl itself is not too short. It's just when you compare it to that, it looks a bit awkward, like I said. But actually, to me, it's an unusual shape. But that's what makes the shape. That is the shape. That's the intention. I mean, I could sand this down and take it down to there, and it would be just a regular Dublin. But I think that this one just stands out because of that shaping. I don't know. Some of these are just going to end up being smoked by me, which would be a shame that they don't get enjoyed by somebody out there. It's very lightweight as well. It's actual sandblasting, yeah. It's basically a gun shooting sand at it, or other types of media, but same principle. You could use sand, you can use tiny glass beads, People use different media, but it's essentially the same thing, a sandblasting gun. And on the briar you have harder areas and softer areas. The soft areas go and it reveals the grain. This one is still here as well. This is a rusticated one as opposed to sandblasted. This the shape of this is mimicking that. That's the idea anyway. Also again an unusual shaped stem, which is intended. That's very generous of you, Daniel, on my behalf. They're all made 9mm, but obviously they can all take an adapter. And the adapters, if somebody does request an adapter, then I do adjust the adapter to make sure that it's as close as possible as it would be to an unfiltered pipe. But they all start their lives as 9mm pipes. Yeah, the Toscano. I have done that. I have finished off cigars that way myself. It works very well. I remember I once posted a picture on a pipe forum of my pipe with a cigar in it, and I really prompted some serious dissatisfaction because it was a purely pipe forum, and they didn't allow cigars. They were very vehement about it. But they kind of couldn't do anything about. I wasn't doing it to cause trouble, but it was just what I was smoking at the time. But because it was a pipe, it belonged on that forum. But some people were a little bit cheesed off about that. Ken, what was that remark for? Which pipe? Did the Rafi sell? I think it did, Let me just check my other drawer. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was talking before about plateaus. Look at that extreme angle. This is a Duncan Briars. Actually smokes well. I converted this to 9mm myself. Oh, look at that angle there. I don't see it to hand, so it may well have sold, the Rafi pipe. Is there an issue smoking a 9mm unfiltered? No, not as far as I know. I mentioned this in one of my... Yeah, it's very possible, pictures and more. It will mean that the shank is broader, absolutely. I was on a Zoom recently. I mentioned this in one of my videos. I was on a Zoom meeting with the Pipe Club of London, and we were talking about 9mm versus non-9mm. And the treasurer of the club, he was saying that he smokes both 9mm and non-9mm without a filter, and he's never seen any difference. He's enjoyed them both equally. Hasn't found a problem with it. I guess different people have different experiences, but when I first bought my first Savinelli pipe, it was this Christmas 2015, I think it was, 606 St Nicholas. This is a 9mm. I didn't even realise it was 9mm. I didn't know what 9mm was at the time. came with the balsa filters. I used it once or twice. I didn't like the way they got all soaking and disgusting, so I took them out and I smoked it for a long time without. I didn't even know there was such a thing as filtered pipes. 9mm. I didn't realize it was a thing, and I smoked it for a long time without a filter in it and enjoyed it thoroughly. It kind of almost acts as a mini reverse calabash. So the smoke will swirl around a little bit in there, I guess. I suppose if you widen the drill on the stem, it would make the flow easier. But I've not heard anybody having any real issues with it. And as I say, I've smoked. I've sold. I mean, all the pipes that I've sold, bar maybe one or two. I think Mike has one of mine, which isn't a 9mm pipe. But generally speaking, they're all 9mm. Question, Ken? Yeah. Excuse me. Generally speaking, you can talk about any topic, any subject, no problem at all, but not about each other, if you don't mind. You've never used a filter, IK? It's it's a matter of choice. For me, it was always about tongue bite. Tongue bite is what caused me to change over to using a filtered pipe. I went through the first year or so that I smoked a pipe. I smoked without a filter. I couldn't smoke any Virginias. I could only smoke Latakia pipes, and even Latakia tobaccos. And even then, I couldn't smoke too many bowls one after another because I would get tongue bite. And then after about maybe a week or so, I'd get tongue bite in any event, regardless of what I smoked. I kind of went over to cigars without any problems, and I smoked cigars most of the time for about a year and a half. And then I don't remember how it happened, but I discovered 9mm pipes, and from then on, I haven't looked back. I can smoke anything, even a straight Virginias. I smoke them all the time, and Virginias were just anathema to me. I couldn't because of the tongue bite. But everybody smokes them for different reasons. DB, do I use filter? Do you inhale, or does it make it smoother smoke? You generally don't inhale pipe smoke. I wouldn't advise it at all. It'll knock you on your back. For me, it's about the tongue bite, as I just was talking about. What kind of finish is the Zippo? It's not a patina. My most patinaed one is my Jack Daniels one. This one is a pipe that I won in an auction, a charity auction, which was this is a Kraken leather. It's a regular metal Zippo, but it's coated. It's got a coat on it, which is glued on. It's a leather. It's a company called Kraken Leather. This is their logo, and they auctioned off this to raise money for a pipe carver whose his workshop had been destroyed in one of the storms in the US. Is it easier to make 9mm from scratch or convert to a 6mm to 9mm? Well, converting is always a bit dicey, Daniel, so it's not an ideal thing to do. I've got one of the Matches 860 Friday 780s, which is 6mm, and I could convert that to 9mm, but I may well just get a single box of 6mm and just smoke it with 6mm. The problem with 6mm is that they're a little bit tighter. Some people find the 9mm tight. I don't, but I know I've used the 6mm in the past, a long time ago. But I might just do that. We'll see. And I haven't smoked it yet, that pipe. Well, I thought it was a pretty good price. I think there were a few bids on it. I bid $50. So the Zippo itself it's worth $25 easily. It's a plain Zippo, obviously. So I just figured it was a good bid, and if I won, all well and good. If not, it's even if it's a bit overpriced, it went to a very good cause, which is what the main idea of the auction was. So I was very happy to have won it. And in actual fact, a byproduct of it is actually, this is now my go-to lighter. It's the one I carry in my pocket now. And the advantage of this leather, it makes it very grippy. You've got this stitching on the edges, and this is the only one I can do single-handed like that. I mean, you can do them and flick them closed. That I can do with any of them, but this is just so easy to grip. So that's become my go-to. Where's my knocker? Where's my other tin? See, in this, it's got a magnetized cigar rest. Take that out. Put the knocker in. That's the end of that bowl. That was very nice. Well, usually when I'm at my desk, I use the Peterson, the old boy style Peterson, which is here somewhere, but my desk is a little bit... Oh, here it is. There's my usual knocker. But my desk on the other side, which you can't see, is a little bit overrun at the moment. I'm busy packing up pipes that I need to send off, so I can't see the Peterson right now. But that's usually the one that I light when I'm at my desk. I use the Peterson one. Nordic Eric's Reserve Flake. Okay. Alright people, I think we're going to call it a day for now. It's 1:30. Unless there's any... do I knock my bowl clean or wipe them out after a smoke? Generally speaking, if the bowl is finished, if it's not smoking anymore, I'll just tap it out. And then sometimes, it depends on how it looks, but usually I'll leave it to dry. So it'll stay overnight at least, unless I smoke another bowl straight away, which is rare, but it does happen. But otherwise... And I don't always do this, but what I do generally is take a pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and just give it a quick swirl around, and that's it. And that's how I leave it. I'll put it back on the pipe stand, and that's that. Ken, I refer you to my answer last time. I got your questions last time, but it's not appropriate. I just leave it at that. Otherwise, don't want to get into that and start taking action, which I don't think I've ever done on my channel, on one of my lives, except for trolls, which I can see that you're not. But I would advise you to listen to Hermit Piper on this one. But anyway, it's time to go, I think. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Hermit Piper. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, JB. Thanks, John Adams. Thanks, IK. Thanks, JB. Thanks, WV. Thanks, Ken Paul. Thanks, DB Beggars. Tim. Boris. Pictures and More. And everybody else. And Mike, Briar Blues. Thank you very much. and Andrew. Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. I will catch you on the next one.